Hi, welcome to the 6502 show. Recently, I showed a game by a fellow named Gavin Dandridge, his game Space Game, which was a horizontal scroller. Really evoked the early days of gaming on little single board computers back in the 70s, and I thought, there's a source for a lot more of those kinds of games. After taking a look at Gavin Dandridge's Space Game last week, I thought, hey, let's stay in the spirit and go to the first book of Kim and find some cool games that we can play and maybe learn a few things from. Who knows? And here are the games that we're going to take a look at. We've got Ping Pong, Multi-Maze, KIM-Tac-Toe, Craps, Farmer Brown, and Asteroid. Before we dive into the games, there are a few caveats to some of the listings you're going to find for First Book of Kim games. And the first one is right here. If you're using a replica machine, if you're using a PAL-1 or a micro KIM or maybe something of your own design and you only have one Riot chip, you probably have the second one installed. These addresses in the 1700 to 173F range just won't work. There's just nothing there for the computer to latch onto. These are fine, but this is going to have to change. And we're going to change this 1704 to 1744. Now it'll address a timer that you actually have on board the computer. Depending on where you get your source code, you find it somewhere on the internet, or maybe you have a copy of the book and OCR'd it, you might find that you end up with some of this type of construction, where you've got leading zeros. Obviously, we want to store something in zero page, and obviously we want to store it into the display registers. But some assemblers don't necessarily like that. You might have to go in and do something like this and strip out the double zeros. So just be aware of that. If your programs compile fine but don't run well, there might be some extra zeros in there that shouldn't be in there. Our first game is Ping Pong by Jim Butterfield, and it is a classic ping pong playing kind of game. You're going to play to 11 points, and there are various shots that you can choose. You can slam the ball, you can just block it lightly, you could lob it high, or give it some spin. Jim says that there is definitely a strategy to this, but you're going to have to play and figure it out on your own. Or, I suppose, one could just, go through the source code, but where's the fun in that? There'll be a ball that goes back and forth, and it'll be one LED segment, and there'll be a net in the middle of the court. It's just a couple of sticks. And he says, do not try to play the ball until it's on your side of the net, or you're going to lose the point. And that definitely would be cheating, hitting it on the other side of the net. The LEDs will light up differently for each type of shot, so we'll get to know what they are. There's some strategy notes here if you need to freeze the game for a second to, collect your head. Or some mods that you could make to have it be a two-player game, or maybe you want Kim playing the left side of the board. All right, let's have a go. I think I'll start off with lob and spin for the most part. And my serve. Oh, it got through. I wasn't fast enough. Poop. It didn't cross the net completely. It's clearly a pretty good opponent.
got to be a little more patient, it seems. Hey, an ace. Oh, an ace for it. Hey, not a bad rally. Well, we'll play anyway till we get to 11.
Multi-Maze is also by Jim Butterfield, and in this, you are the little character in the middle, and as you quote-unquote move forward, left, or right, or backwards, the walls change around you. So in a way, it's kind of Wolfensteinish-like. Nothing groundbreaking here, but a lot of fun to figure out. And by studying some of the code, you could come up with maybe some new mazes. There's a table here at the bottom that has all kinds of data. I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard to figure it out. I wanted to share some of the comments with you because it shows Butterfield's personality and his sense of humor, but also, I think, speaks of the times. No one was, at least in the hobby world, taking themselves too terribly seriously in the 70s, and of course it was the 70s. It was a different time. But little comments like this one here. Tiptoe through the segments, and we're pausing at the label, or something like that. Hope I don't get flagged for a copyright violation. In any case, here's another one. Long branch. Yeah, they had more fun, I think, and I kind of envy that. Okay, now on with the game.
Well, there's a opcode you don't normally see at the start of a program, but Jim knows what he's doing. Okay, our controls are here at, probably can't see my finger very well, but 1, 4, 6, and 9. And let's get moving here. So there I am blinking in the maze. I guess I better go this way. And it scrolls around. Oop, not a valid button. Let's explore down here. Oh, dead end that way. Oh, hit another dead end. This is quite a maze. Oh, I think I was down that corridor before. Might be time to get out the graph paper.
Lew Edwards adapted the millennia-old game Tic-Tac-Toe to become KIM-Tac-Toe, and it is played on the LED display. It uses display numbers 1, 2, and 3, and if the segment is blinking, that's the Kim's move. If the segment is solid, that's your move. It gets smarter if it starts to lose, so stay on your toes. There are a few options you can set before you get going, such as do you want to play first or play second. You can change the IQ of the program, and your entry pad is not set up like it is on the KIM-1 or the PAL-1 for that matter, but much more like a 10-key entry pad on a modern keyboard. Okay, let's give it a go.
KIM-Tac-Toe takes up most of the available memory in the KIM-1. So we're going to start here in the bottom of the stack area, use that RAM to get this really fascinating game in. A game that, again, as we mentioned earlier, gets smarter if it starts losing. Here's its first move. And clearly, I have some type of resistive problem going on here with this LED. Might have to get out the meter and check that out later. Well, in the meantime, let's see if we can win a game of Tic-Tac-Toe. It goes there. Well, I have no choice but to go there. It's got to go there. I have to go there. It goes there. Well, doesn't look like anyone's going to win this game. I'll go there. It goes there. And all blinkies mean it's a draw. Nobody won.
Well, you got to have a dice game, and Jim Butterfield wrote one for us. Of course. It's a game of craps, and it plays the way it's been played for hundreds and hundreds of years. You win on a 7 or 11, you lose on a 2, 3, or 12, or you got to make your point before you crap out on a 7. To get the game started, we press go, and then we just press any other button the rest of the time, because you press go, well, you start over. All right, here we go.
This is just a straightforward game. We're going to hold down the button to roll and release it when we're ready to throw. Shaking them up. And it looks like 8 is my point. That shouldn't be too tough. Hey, I got 8 and picked up $1. Or maybe that's $1,000. Perhaps it's thousands. I'd like to think that. Points 4. I got a 9. I got a 9. I got an airplane in the background. I got another 9. I got a 2. A 6. Wow, this is a long hand. Another 6. 5. 6. An 11. 5. 3. 9. 6. Hey! Got my point. Made my dough. Hey! I'm $2,000 richer. Why not?
Next up is a game beloved by many early 6502 enthusiasts. Farmer Brown. You are Farmer Brown, and you've got corn that animals want to get, and those animals are an ant, a bird, a cow, a dog, unlikely, but an elephant, and a fox. So you see the animals coming across the yard, you gotta shoo them away by pressing the right button. You go until all your corn is gone, and then the game is over. One thing that's kind of interesting is Jim comes up with a couple of different ideas for how you might change the game. You could change the shape of the animals and name them other things. You could make the animals go faster after a while. It might be possible to turn it into a target shooting kind of game. So there are quite a number of options for you to explore.
Once I get this started, they're going to start coming for the corn. And so I need to remember where, in the dark, keys A, B, C, D, and E, and F are located. Okay, here we go. What's going to come? It looks like the dog. Oh, he got some corn. That is a dog. Why am I not getting my dog? Oh, because it's a fox. It's not a dog. Ha ha. That looks like the elephant? No? That's the elephant. There he goes. That's the dog. And I sent him packing. Shoot him away. That's a bird. And that is the fox. Oh, what was that thing? Oh, that's a bird. Oh, maybe that was the cow before. Oh, that's the ant. Go away, ant. Nobody likes ants in their house. All right, well, we've seen enough, eh? Oh, one last elephant to get.
Last but certainly not least is Stan Ockers' Asteroid. You're piloting your spaceship between Mars and Jupiter when you hit a dense portion of the asteroid belt. You press 0 to move left, you press 3 to dodge right, and you just try to survive as long as you can. This is also a great example of what we were talking about earlier, how in source code in the listing, you can have, say for example, the second line, store the accumulator in F7, 0 page, and the listing has 00 F7, but if you look to the left, where the object code is going to be, the hex is simply 85 F9. There's no 0 anywhere near there. That could throw you if that's what your assembler insists on putting there. So, kind of what we were talking about earlier. Stan also offers some ideas about changes. You can build your own asteroid field and have varying patterns going on. You could change the speed, slow it first, getting a little faster as we go, and possibly maybe a final destination count and some type of flashing signal to say that you finally got to Jupiter or wherever you're going. And maybe even taking a hit or two before your craft is finally disabled and you're left to drift in space forever. All right, let's dodge some rocks.
Prepare for the asteroid fields of the belt. Yeah, that's right, Tiger. Oh, one got down. Got me. I scored 10 that time. I'll reset. And go. I'll hide out over here in this corner for a little bit. Collect those points. Oh, jumped too far. So there you have it, 24 points scored. And as we talked about earlier, there are variations that you could certainly do, and there's plenty of room to do it in this game at less than a page. It's amazing how clever some of this stuff is, and as you go through the code, there's so much to learn. I just can't recommend the first book of KIM highly enough. If you're getting started with a 6502 and you want to learn how to program it, you want to learn how interrupts work, you want to learn how I/O works, it's a great place to start. It is just absolutely amazing how clever and interesting some of these programs are. We truly do stand on the shoulders of giants. So, until we see each other again, take care.